In the previous video, we talked about how to use mini bridge and bridge, which will be very useful in this video as well, where I would like to talk a little bit more about placing in images into your documents. So we already know that it's very simple from bridge or mini bridge to just drag and drop an image and then click and drag to create a frame. Or another way to place it in is to drag and drop and then click to use the original size of the image. We will talk about size and resolution in a video later on, but now what I would like to show you is how to place in more images or multiple images at the same time. So we know how to do one by one, but what if I select more images? So I come to mini bridge and let's just say I would like to place in all the landscape format images or these landscape sceneries. So I'm going to select one, then Command or Control on PC, click on two more, then the fourth one, fifth, and then sixth one here. So now I have these 6 images selected, and I click on one of them and drag and drop onto the document. Once I do this, InDesign will show me that I have 6 images selected. So in those little brackets there, I can see the number of images that I prepared for placing into my document. And if I use right and left arrows on my keyboard, I can go through all these images and decide which one to start with. So I can start with, let's just say this one, and then click and drag to create a frame. Then I can see there's only 5 left. So I can again go around and choose the next one and draw. And you will always see these little guides. They are called smart guides, the green arrows, which will show you if you reached the size of the previous image. So that can help me to create like a grid. And as you can see now, I have only 4 left. If I want to go back and I use the undo keyboard shortcut, Command Z, that will load back the previously placed image into my cursor. So now I again have 5, and if I go back again, I can place in or load back the image again into my cursor. So now again I have 6 images, and I showed you already how to place them one by one and all the images that loaded into your cursor, but you can also do a trick and place in all 6 at the same time. The way to do that is to click and drag to create a frame, and then use right arrow to divide your frame into columns, up arrow to divide them into rows. So now I have 2 columns, 2 rows. But if you remember, we had 6 images, so I can decide either to add one more column by pressing right arrow, or pressing left arrow to go back to 2 columns, and press up arrow again to add one more row. So remember, right, left will add and remove columns, up and down will add and remove rows. So in this case, because my images are landscape format, I think it's better if we use 2 columns and 3 rows. And when I let go, the images will be placed in all at the same time. So I will have like a little grid of 6 frames, 6 separate frames. If I click here on an empty part of the screen, I can see them side by side. And by the way, it is good to know that how to preview your images properly, because whenever you are in normal view mode, you will always see these frames, the edges. But if you press W on the keyboard, you can switch to print preview, which is a much better way to preview your whole page. You can also have an even better preview if you press Shift W, because then you will get a full screen preview without all those edges. So once again, this is like a print preview, but filled on your whole screen. If you want to go back to normal mode, you just need to press Escape and then W to switch back to this mode, where you can see all the margins and the frames and all the additional non-printing elements. It's also good to know how to replace an image. That's similar to placing an image, but where we already have a frame, we can replace an image by again drag and drop a new image over the previous frame. And whenever you do this, you will see that the cursor will change. So just look at my cursor now and look at the way it is changing when I hover over an already existing frame. So it shows a little page inside 2 brackets. That means I'm going to replace that image. So if I let go, or it will replace the previous one. Once again, let me show you this. So I drag and drop a new image over this one here, and then this one will replace the previous one. There's one more thing which is good to know about placing in multiple images at the same time. Let me just delete these, and I'm going to select now these 4 portrait images and drag and drop them. And I am going to draw the frame. Remember, we have the 4 images selected. I'm going to draw the frame, and I would like to put them side by side. So I press right arrow 3 times. If I press space, I can even move this whole collection of images before I actually let them go. So with space held down and still drawing the frames, you can move the whole composition together. And there's another very useful keyboard shortcut, and that is holding down Command while pressing the arrows. You can change the gutter between them. So I'm pressing now Command or on PC Control left arrow to reduce the gutter and completely get rid of the space between the placed in images. So Command right arrow will make the gutter bigger, or Command left arrow will make it smaller. And now if I let go, let me just paste them in something like this, then they will be placed very close to each other. We can have a look once again with W on the print preview, or Shift W on the full screen print preview, and then if I click W and escape, I can go back to normal view. So that's all you need to know about placing in images to your documents. But you also have to learn about the links panel, which is very important. So I am going to talk about that in the next video.